Sunday night game, Titans at the Packers. Here's another big sharp move. The Packers open up -5. It's down to 3. So tons of sharp money on Tennessee. So who do you like here?
Yeah, so I like the Packers now that it's down to -3. I think that the Packers are going to shred the Tennessee defense. Like, Tennessee's defense is still not very good. I know they gotten some players back. They have a Dory Jackson back, which should help them hypothetically, but they can't get any pass rush really. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to stand in the pocket and make some throws. I know he was under pressure against the Panthers, but they have more pass rushing talent, believe it or not, than the Titans. I think the Titans mostly just have Jeffrey Simmons. So while they'll need to focus on stopping him. I think they'll be able to do it. And I know Derrick Henry's probably going to have a big day on offense for the Titans. The Packers don't have a very good run defense, but I just kind of see this game being a shootout back and forth. Teams are going to score a lot of touchdowns. And I think it's going to come down to whoever scores the last touchdown. I think it's going to end up being Aaron Rodgers, because I think the Packers defense will be able to come up with one stop. And I just can't fathom the Titans defense that allowed Detroit to move the ball on them, not like entirely easily, but way more easy than Detroit to be able to move the ball on them last week. So I like the Packers here for a unit. I'm not going to bet heavily on this one because, I could see a situation where Tennessee jumps out to a quick lead, and then if the Packers are playing catch up, it's going to be hard for them to cover this. But I think in a shootout, I'd prefer Aaron Rodgers. Especially if the Packers start quick. So I'm on the Packers for a unit here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not like too crazy about this game. Like, not even crazy enough to bet a unit. Like, I think that you're definitely more confident than I am. And if this line were still 5, I think I'd be on Tennessee, because I think this is going to be a close game. Like, I think that the most likely result of this game is going to be Green Bay winning by 3, and that's exactly what the line is. So. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I think I'm definitely more confident in Rodgers, especially coming off that loss, the loss against the spread, and like it was kind of, he treated it like a loss. Like, if you listen to his post game press conference, or not, like post game sideline review, he sounded so depressed. And I was talking to my friend Chris at the time, and he's like, wow, like Rodgers sounds like his dog died. Like he sounded so sad, and like. You would think that without watching the game that the Panthers beat the Packers, even though they didn't. So I think Rodgers is going to be more motivated. The Packers have one more day to prepare for this game than the Titans, which could mean a little bit. Like, it's definitely a small advantage. And the Packers, their one like problem right now is that they're missing 2 offensive linemen. So their offense is not as efficient as it could be. But Tennessee has no pass rush, like you said. Like, they except for Jeffrey Simmons not getting to the quarterback at all. Kind of like I remember when they played the Bengals earlier in the year, and the Bengals are missing their entire offensive line, and yet it didn't even matter because the Titans couldn't get to Joe Burrow at all. So the Titans won't be able to take advantage of this. And yeah, like you said, I think you said it perfectly. In a shootout, I think you take Rodgers over Tannehill. But I think this is going to be a close game. I think both teams are going to move the ball extremely well. It's going to come down to the wire, and I think I trust Rodgers at the end. So maybe instead of 3, maybe they win this game by 4.
Yeah, and I think why Rodgers was so like depressed sounding that second half against the Panthers, because they were moving the ball so well in the first half, then they completely stalled. And I still can't, like, I look back on the game, and I still really can't figure out why. Like, Brian Burns was getting some pressure, so was Derek Brown, but I guess that maybe his receivers weren't getting open, and maybe he's thinking in the back of his head, like, oh, shoot, I just had a bad game, and now I might not be MVP, which, like, players don't focus on individual awards except when it's, like, to prove a point or a chip on his shoulder type deal. Like, Rodgers cares more about winning games than anything else, but if he feels the team could have performed better and like he feels like, oh, I should have done better in that game, he's not going to be happy about it because he knows he's in a competitive race for MVP too. That's just one theory about it, because MVPs do matter, especially for Hall of Fame voting and all that jazz.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't consider that. So like, yeah, that could be it. That could be one of the reasons. And yeah, I was I can't believe the Panthers covered when they went down so big, and I had them in the Super Contest, and like, oh man, this is gonna be brutal. Actually, remember when Bridgewater fumbled at the goal line, and I called this you called this the Bachelor's Paradise package, and I called it the divorce package. So because games were on, my wife was out; she was hanging out with friends, and so like one of her friends calls my phone. And I pick it up, and like she's like, like Dina's drunk or whatever. So I'm talking on the phone with her friend, and I hear my wife in the background. And like as that's happening, Bridgewater fumbles at the goal line, and I want to yell, but like I can't because I'm on the phone. So like it was so aggravating, but I'm so happy that the Panthers covered. So anyway.
They actually pushed for me because I bet the game too late at exactly 8 points. So I won't complain because they did end up pushing, but I wish I had that extra hook there.
Yeah, it was 8.5 in the Super Contest, so definitely thrilled about that. Actually went up to, it was 9.5 in one of the sports books. That line was all over the place. I saw 8, I saw 9.5. It was kind of nuts. So anyway, before we get to the Monday night game, please hit subscribe or the like button on YouTube, or share this video. Like I said before, that would help us out a lot. So the Monday night